If you are watching this and your mind feels hijacked, replaying scenarios, running outcomes, refusing to settle, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken. What you're experiencing is a nervous system responding to a perceived threat. And today, I want to explain what's really happening and how to regain control without shaming yourself or spiraling. Hey, Minister Robinson here, Church of Real Talk, founder of the Numb movement, and I have an important message today. I experienced something that was kind of foreign to me, especially after these months, almost a year of healing. I found it to be strange. I was like, am I backsliding? What the hell is going on? When you come out of narcissistic abuse, one thing that we do realize is that our nervous system has been hijacked, and we do a lot of work repairing the damage that was done while we were in that relationship. But what do you do when your mind gets hijacked? No, seriously. I mean, there are, even though you're done with the narcissist, even though that you've broken free from the chains, there's probably something that still ties you together, distastefully ties you together. But there's probably something there. It could be finances, it could be, property, it could be a business, it could be your children, it could be any of those things. And sometimes we worry or we wonder, is this going to affect our healing? Are these things going to be used to hijack us back into the pain that we experienced with our narcissistic partner? When my mind got hijacked today, I was petrified. I really was. I got a notice. I have to go to court for something with the narcissist. I'm not really scared about it. I'm not really anxious about it. In fact, I was cool with it. I've done everything that I needed to do to ensure that I am going to be treated fairly and, with respect. And I really don't want to talk to the narcissist, even though they're in the same room. And I've come to grips with that. I was like, I just want to continue no contact. I just want to continue gray rock. But I got an automated call today to remind me that I had this situation. And not 15 minutes after that call, my mind just started going crazy. It's trying to figure out what could happen. What are the possibilities? What if this happens? What if someone throws a monkey wrench into it? What if the person that is actually hearing this decides that, hey, listen, you're just a messed up individual and I'm a narcissist myself? I mean, just a whole bunch of crazy scenarios. And I had to figure out a way to get balance. And again, this was foreign to me. So I'm going to just assume, I'm going to put myself out there and say, maybe this is foreign to somebody else. Maybe somebody else woke up or is going to wake up and experience this. Once again, always trying to be of assistance. What I learned today, I want you to be able to put into your toolbox so that you can not have to go through this tomorrow, if that makes sense. So let's get started with the video. What actually happens when your mind hijacks you? First off, this isn't you failing. It's not your backsliding. It's your nervous system doing its job. A shit poor job, but it's doing its job. It's doing what it feels needs to be done. See, trauma bonds wire the brain to treat anything uncertain as danger. Okay, this is what your brain wants to do. It's built in, it's circuitry. Okay, so when you have upcoming events like court, contact that you have to, be there with them, silence, sometimes that triggers and makes you anticipate threat loops. The brain starts running what-if solutions, what-if simulations, just to regain control, to help. It's not helping, but it's trying to. These thoughts feel intrusive because they're protective reflexes, not conscious choices. So you don't feel that you're in control. You don't. But there's a way that you can regain that, okay? So Your brain isn't asking permission. It's trying to keep you alive using outdated information. We've learned so much about this. So a lot of the information your brain is holding on to is outdated. And this happens even after you have begun the process of healing, or like me, you feel that you have healed, you've overcome this, and what happens is, your brain is running this loop, okay? Because you're trying to do the right thing, as most empaths do. You're trying to do the right thing. In my case, it's called, I'm trying to do the right thing. And that morality within you, what it's doing, believe it or not, is it's causing you more pain, because you're running through these scenarios to figure out how to do the right thing. In my case, in court, I'm trying to figure out how to do the right thing without being cruel, without being malicious, without being mean. So we seem to, empaths, it's just like after we come out of narcissistic abuse, we find we're the ones that's got to fix the problem and end up in therapy. In cases like this, when it comes to financial matters, business matters, children, court matters, we're always trying to do the right thing. But we want to do the right thing that doesn't bring the narcissist back into our life. They're depending on you doing the right thing, but in order for them to keep their mask, no matter what this situation is, they're going to have to put unneeded pressure on you. They're going to have to throw, as the kids say, ish in the game to make it seem like they're in control. You, since you're healing, you really don't care about them or their need for control. You just want to do the right thing, and that is why your mind is playing tricks on you. Let's move on. Okay, here we are. We are in 2026 and only in day 2, and I am still learning this. I'm just learning stuff every freaking day. And, when my mind got hijacked today, one thing that I actually learned that I had to come to grips with is that whole deep breathing and positive thinking stuff, it doesn't work in these moments. It really doesn't work in these moments. For the most part, closing my eyes and trying to imagine a different scenario, trying to change the script that's running in my mind a little bit, it wasn't working, And, for a lot of people, closing your eyes actually makes it worse, because it kind of gives you your brain or your nervous system a free pass to make these visions more vivid. And it hurts. Again, it hurts because my first response is, how the hell did I fall back? I've been no contact. I'm following my own playbook that I show to others. I'm like, how did I fall back? It wasn't me falling back. It was me, because what's at stake? It's my children, So I care so much for my children. They are the driving force for everything that I do. So yeah. It was intense for me, and my nervous system looked at that as being inherent danger. If you do something wrong, if the judge is a narcissist, you're screwed. Where do we go from there? We can't pick up the pieces after that. It wasn't about the narcissist. It wasn't about me being drawn back in, or me feeling that I needed to explain myself. All of the things that we go through with narcissistic abuse, that wasn't on the table. What was on the table was something that I live and breathe for. So yeah, my nervous system, and I didn't realize it. I really didn't realize it. Like I said, I knew about this court date for like at least 30 days. That wasn't the problem. What the problem was the trigger from that automated call. That's what it was. So automatically, my brain is working and saying, oh yeah, that's right. We have to be there at this time. And what are we going for? Oh, this is what we're going for. Well, hey, let's make sure everything is all right. And then my nervous system, takes my thinking brain offline and says, hey, listen, I got this, we're going to get them through this, because this is danger Will Robinson moment. And we have to make sure that, hey, let's make sure that Minister Robinson crosses all the T's and dots all the I's, so that way this will no longer be a threat. But I can't get anything done. And, every time I tried the deep breathing and, changing my thought pattern, that didn't help. It made it worse. It made it more painful. And, and they say that, that I read that someplace, that closing your eyes can actually make it worse for some people. And I had to figure out that the real goal was how to interrupt the loop, because that's what it was. It was a loop. I'm sitting up there, I'm, breathing in for 6, holding it for 4, breathing out for 6 with my eyes closed. And it would really give me just a small amount, maybe 30, 60 seconds, where I could just jump back on the keyboard. I think I was editing a video at the time. Just jump back on the keyboard and do what I was doing. But like I said, after that 30, 60 seconds is up, here they come again. And it's throwing me off balance. I don't think I felt this off balance. I think since I literally was completely free, where, you run those loops, you run those scenarios as survivors do. We actually, we're going over all the scenarios. Sound familiar? What we could have done, what we should have done, what would have made things better. And again, that was your nervous system. And that's why it's so important that when we heal, and I talk about this a lot, is the no contact and the gray rock method. The reason why I say that is because you've got to give your nervous system time to heal. And that's what made me realize that what I was going through wasn't about the narcissistic abuse. Yeah, it's an offshoot of it, it's like a spinoff of it, but it wasn't about them. It wasn't about the demon. Okay. The stakes in my mind, even though I was good with it for like the last 30 days, it became a high stakes game. It's like, hey, you really care about your children. Let's just run the complete gamut. So, I feel like I'm in the training room in X-Men's mansion, because I'm going through everything that I should say. What if they say this? What if they say that? How should I counter this, that, and the other? And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I don't want to think about this right now. This is not helping anything. And that was the key. That was the key. So instead of closing my eyes, what I did was I opened my eyes. And this is a technique that is called time boxing. I opened my eyes and I just said to myself, I said, this isn't really doing me any good. It's not helping me at all. I'll think about this on Monday. It helped a little bit. I noticed that it helped. I got through like 20 minutes of getting something done, and I'm like, okay, so let me just tell my brain that every time that something comes up, hey, listen, this is not helping me. I'll deal with it on Monday at the time that I'm supposed to be there. And it helped. And I just kept on reinforcing it. See, what you're telling your nervous system is, all right, cool, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate you, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's not helping, and there's nothing that we can do about it until Monday. And you'll get a little bit of pushback. I know it sounds crazy, but you'll get a little bit of pushback, but you'll get a little bit of reprieve as well. Another thing that I did when I could feel them, those feelings, those emotions coming back up, was I just took a brief walk. I just walked around. I went outside. It's brick outside. That helped too. I went outside and I just walked, maybe a square block, just to take my mind off of it, just to pay attention to what was going on now. See, that's the key. What's going on now? I'm looking at license plates, I'm looking at cars, I'm looking at stores, I'm looking at people, but they're all in the present. So you have to bring your nervous system back into the present. Again, it's just trying to help. It's just trying to be of assistance. And by trying to force it to calm down isn't going to happen. For some strange reason, that just because you're talking to your nervous system, you're talking about what your nervous system is doing to you and that you needed to stop, thereby reinforcing the situation. I had to figure out is like, nah, let's just keep it here. Let's just keep it in the present. Because as we all know, there's nothing that we can do about the past. Survivors especially know this. This is part of your healing process. There's nothing you can do about the shit show you endured. All you can do is learn from it, and as an empath, want to go out there and help somebody else get out of it. That's it. The future is just a bunch of stress and anxiety, as I found out today. But the present stays the present. You can work with the present. You can get stuff done in the present. You can find peace in the present. It's kind of a cool thing, And by dealing with the present, everything that's happening in the present, it's not like you're trying to force calm. You're not trying to force your nervous system to be calm. It's like, hey, nervous system, I got no control. This is the world moving around us. I've got no control over that. We've got to deal with this. I can't be thinking about what's going to happen Monday while I'm crossing the street. Please don't let me get hit. Let's stay right here. It's the reality. I'm not telling my nervous system to, hey, ease up, calm down, be easy, buddy. Hey, there's no reason for this. We need to become calm. We need to become centered. No, it doesn't care about that. What your nervous system is doing to protect you. Your job right now, since you've got stuff you got to get done today, your job right now is to tell your nervous system there's nothing we can do about that right now. I appreciate you. Nothing we can do about it right now. So let's get through the present moment. I mean, it made sense to me and it actually worked. But let's go on to the next part. All right, here we are. Part 3, my favorite part, because I get to give actionable tips, ideas, and hints on how to get through this. Now, let's speak about this. This is nothing for you to shame yourself about. This is nothing for you to blame yourself about. Your healing is right on track. Just for the fact you're here trying to figure this out. Okay, that means that your healing is still on track. I know, coming out the narcissistic dynamic that I like to call a shit show. Coming out of that, we have learned that we can shame and blame ourselves for so much stuff. But we're past that point. We're trying to learn how to make ourselves better empaths for the world. We're trying to ensure that we never have to go through this. And hey, we dismantle a mask along the way. Win-win. So yeah, don't blame yourself for this. Like I said, at the end, I'm going to get to and I'm going to explain to you why this happened, and I think you'll be surprised why it happens, why your body is putting you through this, why your nervous system is putting you through this. But what actually works when your mind is hijacked? So here are 3 stabilizing principles that I'm going to share with you that work even when your emotions are high. First off, external structure beats internal control. When the mind won't stop, you can't negotiate with it. It's like a narcissist. You can't negotiate with it. Instead, try to write, speak aloud, follow a script, complete a defined task. I mean, when you do this stuff, structure actually calms faster than comfort. That's why creating something, even briefly, restores regulation. Creation is the key because it just makes another part of the brain work so you can get through this. Information regulates better than reassurance. Telling yourself you'll be okay or it will be okay often fails. But saying this is my nervous system firing off, this is threat response. This is something it is trying to keep me safe from. It's not truth. It returns authority to the conscious mind. Understanding gives the brain a map, and maps reduce panic. It really does. If you've gone on a road trip and got lost, maps help. Purpose converts energy instead of suppressing it. Emotional energy doesn't disappear when ignored. It either moves forward or turns inward. Purpose, even small purpose, gives the energy direction. Helping someone else with clarity you're learning right now isn't avoidance, it's regulation through meaning. Again, purpose helps. I'm going to tell you guys something. When we look at this is part of the reason why I created this video. For some strange reason, I think subconsciously I knew I needed purpose. And some of the things that I did was I deep dived and binged and tried to figure out what was going on, why I felt this way, because in a sense I was giving myself this shame and blame game, like you're not really healed, And, I was actually coming to the point, and I'm just being transparent here, where I was devaluing myself. I'm like, you're out there helping people, but look at yourself now. That was just nothing but pure panic. That was nothing but pure panic, When we get into these situations, it's not that the thoughts keep returning because we're falling back into the narcissist web, or we haven't broken free from the trauma bond, or we're still thinking about the narcissist. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you actually care. See, the reason why the loop and the cycle started with me, the core thing was, it's about my children. It's not about her at all, whatsoever. It's about my nervous system was hijacking my mind because it wanted to make sure that I was completely covered. Because I know, and if you're going through this, it's 99.9% of the time because of something that is so important to you that you care about. As an empath, you've got to understand that, because that's what we do. We care. Whatever fractured us inside, and by the grace of the universe, didn't turn us into narcissists. It turned us into caring individuals, and we care a lot. And the things, the people, those that we actually give our all to, that we want to see no harm come to, that unlocks so many different vaults in our heart, and our nervous system is like, oh man, what are we going to do with this? This is important right here. So yeah, it's running those scenarios. It's running that gambit. It's trying to debrief things that haven't even happened yet, because it's trying to protect that you care the most about. Going through this journey, so many freaking ups and downs. And sometimes even I find it hard. There are some days, because this is a day-by-day process. We're healing from our abuser. We're making sure that we don't pick up another one along the way. And we're trying to maintain peace. Now we see this, we're like super empaths now. It's like I had to actually give myself a rule. It's like, yeah, that's a narcissistic tendency, but A, you're not a doctor, you don't diagnose people, and B, they just have poor social skills. So now I give myself, I'm like the DSM, you've got to show me 5 traits. I'll give you a free pass. Even if you come up on 4, I'm not going to get too close to you if you hit 4. But I'm not going to sit up there, because, again, the need to protect ourselves as empaths, that runs deep after you've come out of the fog, that runs deep after you heal. So, yeah, there's a lot that we have to deal with day by day, and this is why I do what I do. You'll see me jumping on 2026. I learned something, you will be learning it right after me. because that's how it's supposed to be. Nobody, I think I had one person that told me when I got in my last narcissistic relationship that sat down and talked to me and was like, yo, don't you think this is moving a little bit too quick? And, you know, I sat up there and I ignored, because even as she said it to me, I was like, you know, you're kind of making sense. But the love bomb stage, I'm caught. I'm like a god doggone fly in a fly trap. I'm caught. You know, and then I'm saying to myself, see, we rationalize all of this stuff sometimes the wrong way. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, yeah, but me and you used to talk, so maybe there's something in it for you. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in our ability to care. And I think if this ever happens today, or past today, or any flavor of this ever happens again, I know just to sit back and say, why is the real reason why this is happening? Because I know damn good and well it's not happening because I'm thinking about this raggedy ass over here. I know that. And it as I studied it made sense. I'm doing this because I care about my daughters. And this is important to me. My brain knows that. My nervous system knows that. And it kind of hijacked half of my day to force me to figure out how to stop that cycle. Because even though the cycle is stopped, it didn't stop me from caring. And there's an impasse. Think about that for a second. Once you understand why your nervous system is acting this way, once you understand why your brain is acting this way, it doesn't stop you from caring. It doesn't make you care any less about the things that are important to you. You know, with that being said, hey, join me. You already know, free resources all over the place, churchofrealtalk.com. Nothing but free resources. I've got a workshop that starts the 3rd and it's continuous. What else am I doing? You know, Healing Library, all that other stuff. But the important thing, always the freaking important thing. I need you guys to keep healing, stay powerful, and remember that I love you guys.